Good afternoon and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We're live in Abuja. I'm Hauwa, Salihu Adama. This is a gentle reminder that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen for updates. We start with security today as a resumed meeting of the National Security Council has ended in Abuja with a firm assurance to Nigerians that there will no longer be a hiding place for any criminal gang to threaten lives and property as well as the stability and corporate existence of the country. The National Security Advisor, Baba Gana Mongunu, who briefed journalists after the meeting, promised a drastic change in approach and momentum in the renewed efforts at effectively securing Nigeria for sustainable socio-economic development.
We are in a very difficult situation, and Council understands, Mr. President understands people's concerns about the growing insecurity. I know people are weary, people are tired, people are beginning to gravitate to other places for self-help. The truth is that help is rooted in everyone working for the other person. But I can assure you, the members of the armed forces have made a commitment that in the coming weeks, they've already started working on a new strategy to deal with these snippets of violence, and they've given their word, their commitment to the president that there will be a change in momentum, regardless of the fact that there might be certain institutional limitations which they face. But they've understood the enormity of the responsibilities that they have. Again, Council is in the process of winding up the special investigative panel on the Kuje incident. And the idea is to come up with recommendations, hold those who are supposed to be held accountable for their deeds, and to ensure that this type of thing never, ever, ever happens again in this country.
The National Security Advisor on the state of the nation. To the judiciary now, a High Court of the Federal Capital Territory has granted bail to the suspended Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, and two others. The presiding judge, Justice Adeyemi Ajayi, gave the ruling on the defendants' bail applications. The first defendant, who is the suspended AGF, is granted bail in the sum of 5 billion naira with two sureties, one of whom must be a permanent secretary while the other must be a director. The second and third defendants are granted bail to the tune of 2 billion naira each, with two sureties, each who must be directors. The court warned that the defendants should not travel out of the court's jurisdiction, and if such happens without its knowledge, the court will revoke their bail. The former Accountant General of the Federation, along with Godfrey Olusegun Akindele, Mohammed Kudu Usman, and Gezawa Commodity Market and Exchange Limited, were arraigned by the EFCC on the 22nd of July on a 14-count charge with borders on alleged stealing and criminal breach of trust to the tune of more than 109 billion naira. The trial of the defendant has commenced, with the prosecution calling its first witness. The defendants, during their arraignment, pleaded not guilty to all the counts. The case has been adjourned to the 10th and 11th of August for continuation of trial. And the report just in says Kano State High Court sentences killers of late Hanifa, Abdul Malik Tanko and Hashim Ishaku to death by hanging. Third defendant, Fatima Jibril, to serve 2 years sentence. Details will come in our subsequent reports. Senators of the opposition party have resolved to serve impeachment notice to President Muhammadu Buhari if he does not address the issue of insecurity in the country within 6 weeks. Minority Leader of the Senate, Philip Aduda, raised this through a motion which was overruled by President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, who said he was not aware of the motion as provided by the Senate standing orders.
First, you are supposed to cite the order. Second, you are supposed to discuss with me what you are going to discuss. You didn't. Thirdly, I read the progress report. Thirdly, when I read it, when some of our colleagues were still not listening. Thirdly, we have already passed that stage. Look at where we are today. So, just hold on, please. So, at this moment, that point of order, I don't know what it is, but falls flat on its face.
This led to a walkout by the minority senators. Meanwhile, the presidency has reacted to Wednesday's move by some senators at the National Assembly to move for the impeachment of President Muhammadu Buhari. In a statement by Senior Special Assistant Media and Publicity to the President, Garba Shehu, the presidency flagged the walkout of the senators when Senate President Ahmed Lawan refused to allow them move the motion. The presidency urged the opposition senators to join hands with President Muhammadu Buhari in finding lasting solutions to the nation's challenges rather than playing to the gallery and working against the interests of their constituents. To other matters now, the National Personnel Audit remains a vital tool for the progress of basic education in Nigeria. This is the submission of the House Committee on Basic Education during the monitoring process of the National Personnel Audit. Education correspondent Abdul Malik Hassan completes the report.
Enumerators received records from both public and private schools. With the southern phase completed, the process is still on in the north. Senate Committee on Basic Education had earlier monitored the exercise. Today, the lower is taking its turn for on-the-spot assessment. Even though FCT schools have been short, the records were waiting.
The schools appear to know what to do in terms of the national personnel audits. They provided the data as required. It is not left for the UBEB and SUBEBs to manage and collate this, so that when they put it together, we can be better educated as to areas of need. So whatever data comes from the audit in area of need, we will reflect it both in policy and in laws and in the budget.
The committee was not happy with some issues raised, which may trigger stiffer legislation.
Let me begin with the private schools. They are taking a bigger risk. Even the school where the UBEB staff was arrested, I'm surprised that the board has not closed down that school. As it relates to others, I can assure you that I will, along with my colleagues, will be proposing a law to make it compulsory for every private school to supply 100% of their personal data, even without being asked.
Teachers' capacity and facilities also at the center of discourse during the monitoring exercise. Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA News.
Still on education, the West African Examination Council, WAEC, is soliciting the support of the federal government in the procurement of equipment for its digital printing press. The council chairman, while on a call on the Ministry of Education, made a request lauding prompt and outstanding fulfillment of obligations to the examination body. Over now to Olayinka Ojo.
This is the current management team of the West African Examination Council, and their visit to Nigeria targets the completion of a $3.9 million outstanding digital printing press, which will be utilized for the production of examination security materials.
I wish, therefore, to use this rare privilege, Mr. Minister, to kindly request your intervention to enable us to secure the required financial assistance for the procurement of the only outstanding machine to make this project operational.
I don't know that I'm in a position to promise what you asked for last one because it is quite big. And I know the economic situation now, but I want to tell you that I will do the best that I can to help this government do what it can do.
The visit also provided the council the opportunity to visit one of WAEC's examination marking centers, where the registrar expressed satisfaction with the promise of release of results soon.
We will release results within 45 days.
Clarification was also given on the increase of registration fee from 13,500 naira to 18,000 naira.
You know, today we have what we call spiral inflation. The naira to the dollar today is a misery. So to enable us to continue to render our services to the Nigerian child, to continue to deliver efficiently and effectively, there had to be that marginal increase. So the money actually wins for the payment of examiners and supervisors.
West African Examination Council was established in 1952. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
The National Association of Academic Technologists, NAT, has appealed to the federal government to direct the Professor Nimi Breaks Renegotiation Committee to reconvene and conclude the process of salary review with the leadership of NAT to avoid a unilateral allocation of salaries or allowances without input of every union in public universities. The appeal is coming on the verge of the conclusion of ongoing renegotiation of the 2009 agreement between the federal government and the 4 unions in the public universities. NAT is urging the government to intervene for a fair review to guarantee industrial peace after the university strike is called off.
NAT rejects any action that negates the principles of collective bargaining as it concerns current or any other struggle, especially as it relates to salaries and allowances. What we need now is to conclude the renegotiation agreement, or the agreement, the FGN 2009 agreement, as the Nimi Breaks committee has already started.
She is in charge of universities, laboratories, workshops and studios, has been on industrial action in the last 130 days. Police authorities in Ondo State have confirmed another gun attack in Hauwa. The attack, according to the police, occurred at Craneberg Construction Company in the town, leaving many injured. The victims have been taken to the hospital where they are receiving treatment, and the scene of the attack has been cordoned off by the police. And it's time to join Hingino in our Lagos Network Center for more reports on Nationwide. It's over to you.
Thank you, Hauwa. On work days in ever-busy Lagos, dreaming free-flowing traffic along Lekki-Epe Expressway may just be too much to ask for, considering its infamous gridlock. However, the four-day public holiday declared by Lagos State government, which has ushered in a temporary relief to road users owing to ease in traffic, has caused a setback for another set of people. Permit me to say different stroke for different folk. Adeni Itayo is here to tell us more.
From morning till evening, traffic will get this road.
On the average, reactions like that are what you are sure to get when gauging the feelings of motorists along Lekki-Epe Expressway. But It is an unusual scenario out here on Lekki Epe Expressway, where, contrary to the run of nature or the ordinary, traffic is moving, very well. And while motorists are happy about this, it is a different tale entirely for this set of people who rely on heavy traffic, for them to do their business. In the last 6 years, 23-year-old Francis Nweze has become a part of the moving pictures at Arugungu section of the Lekki Epe Expressway, where he hawks biscuits for a living. Unlike what we would ordinarily obtain on a busy day, he had enough time on his hands to attend to my inquiries. Have you made any sale this morning?
No, I haven't.
Why?
Because there is no traffic.
For him and other traffic vendors, heavy traffic here is a lifesaver as it provides opportunity for brisk business.
Of course, I'm the one that is sponsoring myself until I write my work.
And you did that by doing this?
Yes.
Unlike Francis, who managed a smile and shrugged off his business setback, Kingsley is more concerned about the toll that absence of gridlock along the axis is taking on his business.
Over 2 hours now and we never sell anything.
While keeping an eye out for a big break that to see some of them renting a shop to do their business in the future, their hope of making sales for now on their feet. The traffic light is green now, and that means vehicles can move freely. The temporary relief that motorists along this corridor are enjoying now will remain temporary until something permanent is done to address gridlock along this corridor. If that fails to happen, the likes of Francis will continue to have the atmosphere to conduct their brisk business. Then it will not matter whether the light is green or it is red. From Lekki Epe Expressway, Adeni Itawu, NTA News.
Thank you, Adeni. Why Nigerians should join fight against smuggling activities is based on the simple notion that the country loses huge amount of its hard-earned forex to the importation of smuggled goods, which are detrimental to local economy and depriving genuine businessmen access to forex. The coordinator of the Customs Strike Force Team Zone A, Mohammed Sani Yusuf, made the assertion in Lagos while soliciting public support to end smuggling, as this trend is dangerous for the survival of the country. Michael Olale reports.
Another strive to frustrate smuggling activities, ending on a positive note. 13 trucks load of foreign rice and 1,079 bales of used clothing are highlights of an impressive mid-year record. But the plus on the anti-smuggling inventory of the Customs Strike Force Team A is that the value of the entire seizure stood at more than 7.4 billion naira. 3.1 billion naira was recovered as a result of issuance of demand notices, and this significantly increased revenue by 73% when compared to 2021.
As soon as they came with their boat,
at the heart of this feat is the systematic profiling of consignment, which was instrumental to the seizure of 2 by 40-foot containers of used clothing while exiting the ports. Determined to check the act of false declaration in order to escape duties, the Customs has activated a new punitive measure.
when you seize containers, you give the haulage operators their vehicles, but now both the trucks and the items are seized. Maybe they serve as a deterrent to whoever is going to do this, because they discover at the end of the day it's only the importers that lose their goods.
The Customs Strike Force Team A, worried by the perceived preference for anything foreign, which aims to be propelling smuggling activities, advised importers to be abreast with import and export prohibition lists, as ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Apart from arresting 4 suspects within 6 months, a chart provided by the unit shows that since revenue grew drastically in March 2022, there has been a downward trend in importation, which will definitely take an upward trend once the ember months set in. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. It's time for a break. The news will be back with Hauwa in Abuja shortly.
Thanks for rejoining us. It's still nationwide. Doping has been a major concern in the world of sports as a result of its negative effect in achieving clean and fair competition. As the Commonwealth Games commences in Birmingham, Austin Edemodu examines how Nigerian athletes can avoid being victims of doping and ensuring that all testing procedures are properly adhered to.
In recent years, some athletes have developed illegal winning strategies through the use of performance-enhancing drugs, otherwise known as doping. The World Anti-Doping Agency is therefore fighting hard to protect clean athletes and the integrity of sport through campaign and punitive measures against erring athletes. Some of the substances in their prohibited list include cannabinoids, narcotics, stimulants, gene and cell doping, diuretics, and masking agents. Others include beta-2 agonists, anabolic agents, amongst others.
Mere possession of those substances is an anti-doping rule violation. Trafficking in it is an anti-doping rule violation. Okay? Not reporting doping is an anti-doping rule violation. Okay? Aiding and abetting in what way is an anti-doping rule violation?
Few Nigerian athletes may have fallen victim of doping in the past, either through negligence or deliberate acts. But the fact remains that stakeholders must not take chances anymore, especially now that the athletes are preparing for some scheduled global events this year.
They should make sure that they do that in pre-competition medical assessment. It is extremely important because this assessment actually checks the body and the mind.
Fortunately, Nigerian athletes have exhibited high sense of discipline and professionalism in their recent performances at the global stage.
Any athlete they find that has not met the requirement should not be taken to Birmingham. What repeat in Olympic, Nigeria should not want to see it again.
Our leaders, the Minister of Sport, the President of the country, everybody is telling us, please make sure your athletes are clean so that they don't go outside to damage the image of the country.
The current crop of young talented Nigerian athletes can replicate the memories of heroic performances and winning mentality if the right attitude, motivation, and training are allowed to flourish. In Abuja, I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
Thanks, Austin. And the 2022 Commonwealth Games opens tonight in Birmingham, with Nigeria missing only 4 games since 1950. With me in the studio to examine Nigeria's prospects at the 2022 game is sports analyst Jacob Oyekale. You're welcome to Nationwide.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I guess it's another time for a battle for sports supremacy. Nigeria has competed in 14 Commonwealth Games and won several medals. How would you rate our performance so far over the years?
Well, basically, the high points of our performance was in the 90s. That was the highest position Nigeria attained when we finished 4th and 5th. And after then, it's been a dwindling performance. Like the last time out in 2018, we finished 9th with 9 gold medals, 9 silver medals, and I think 4 bronze medals. While the one before that in 2014, we had better performances, 11 gold, 11 silver, and 14 bronze medals. But this time around, the Commonwealth game is coming at such a time when the euphoria is so high, especially still basking in the euphoria of a Nigerian breaking the world record in the 100 meters hurdle event. That will even serve as motivation for other athletes coming into this game. So rating our performance coming into these games, the spirit is very, very high. Note that we had athletes that performed so very well at the last Olympics. So they are all coming here together to participate. And we will be, our strong points all the while had been athletics, boxing, weightlifting, especially power weightlifting, table tennis, and of course wrestling, where you have the likes of Odunayo, Odu Koroye, who has been doing great for herself. So the prospect is so high. And Blessing Oburududu, the last time out, she won a silver medal at the Olympics. And Olympics could be a bit tougher than the Commonwealth Games.
Okay, no doubt, Toby and Asa just back in the last week have given us hope to hold our heads very high. But laying the cards on the table, what would you say are the prospects for us on the medal table?
Well, just as I earlier stated, we finished 9th the last time, but we have prospect of finishing within the last 6 if we really perform to our full potential. Good enough, our female relay team were able to qualify at the 11th hour, which they stand a very great medal prospect for us. And also looking at Toby that you've just mentioned, I mean, she is even the defending champion of the Commonwealth Games. So coming here, it's no, she won't be scared of the big stage any longer. And Ese Brume won gold in 2014. So she is not new to the scene. Same with Odunayo. She is not new in wrestling. And Blessing. And our para weightlifter, we have a couple of world record holder among the para weightlifter. And our table tennis players too, they stand a great chance. And presently our
I'll just cut it short there. Aside the commitments of our athletes, is the environment okay for them to make us proud?
Birmingham in London, it's one
the Nigerian environment for them. Is it okay?
If I will understand your question very well, the Nigerian environment, domesticating it to Nigeria or in
the
Birmingham?
Environment for them to actualize this commitment.
Okay, good. Basically, Nigeria has been a developing country. So we are only trying to really compete with the best in terms of our facility, in terms of our reward system, in terms of our preparation system. And that brings me to the fact that I have said time after time that we need to bring back the National Sport Commission, because preparing for a big event or like the Commonwealth Games, many times we only focus on competition, but there are 3 sides to it: pre-competition, the competition itself, and post-competition. Many a times we focus on the competition, and it is on the eve of every competition funds are being released. But for you to win in any competition, the pre-competition and post-competition is always very important, because post-competition you do a total review and appraisal of your performance, and going to preparation for the next tournament, for you to win a medal, to make a podium finish, it takes not less than 4 to 6 years for you to prepare participate in friendly events and other clubs events, for you to really perform at the optimum and compete with the best in your area of sports. So in this aspect, I think we can do better. We need to do more. The last time before the Olympics, the sport minister, Honorable Sunday Dare, initiated the adopt an athlete policy, whereby some state governments, some individual corporate body have to adopt some athlete, which is really a way forward, but we can actually do better. The environment generally must be made conducive. Our facility, yes, we are trying, but we need to really upgrade our facility to that high standard.
Okay, looking at it holistically, what would you say is the place of such events in promoting global peace? I know sports is a unifier. What would you say is the place of such an event in promoting global peace?
Well,
and a rider, and how does the participation of our athletes, how does it impact on their reputation?
Okay, let me start from how it promotes global peace. The first step is that Commonwealth itself is originated from the countries being colonized by the Great Britain, and they come together. The nickname of the game, at times silent, they call it friendly game. So when they say something is friendly, that is promoting peace. You can only be friendly with those you are at peace with. So it promotes peace among and unity among the Commonwealth nations. And we have about 72 to 74 countries under the Commonwealth of Nations. So it promotes unity and peace. And the second question, if I may say, can you remind me again?
I was saying, how does it impact on the reputation of our athletes?
Definitely, Commonwealth Games is recognized all over, and your performance there, it's, your performance rub on your success in any other competition, because apart from the Olympics, Commonwealth is rated as the next to Olympics, because it's an event you look up to every 4 years. And when you are on the big stage, your performance really stands tall. And that is why you even have the game. It's an institution of its own. So it's a place to really prove your mettle. If you can perform in Commonwealth, then you look up to Olympics as the next step.
Okay, thank you very much. But the final word from you before you go, there is this issue of doping, and I'm just wondering what can be done to ensure that we avoid this controversy, and how can our athletes deliberately stay away from this?
Sports on its own is a very big industry, and we must realize that as a country. If that is the case, there are various departments in sports. There should be an anti-doping department, the medical team that really take care of the activities of their own athlete. There should be an internal testing and auditing of our own athletes to really guide them. You also have your dietitian or nutritionist that will have to guide them what they eat, when to eat, because many a times some of these failing doping tests is not a deliberate act. Okay. But sometimes if you are careless with your nutrition, you can take some things.
Innocent mistake.
You understand? At times it could be ordinary painkiller, drugs. So everything must be well administered to, especially going into a big event. So we must be properly guided, and the industry must really allowed to function. It must be well structured.
I guess we'll still have to talk about this another time. Mr. Jacob Oyekale, thank you so much for coming on Nationwide today.
And thank you for having me.
I pray we come back with many more medals.
Yeah.
We're not done with sports, as sports update is next.
All is now set for the opening ceremony of the long-awaited 2022 Commonwealth Games Thursday evening in Birmingham, United Kingdom. Team Nigeria will be among the 72 participating teams, comprising 6,500 athletes and officials. Meanwhile, world record holder and newly crowned world champion in 100 meters hurdles, Toby Amusan, and long jumper Ese Brume, Thursday morning joined the camp of Team Nigeria in Birmingham, boosting the spirits of their teammates. The two are favorites to clinch gold in their various events at the Games. In tennis, Team Nigeria narrowly lost 1-2 in their deciding tie against Burundi at the ongoing Davis Cup Africa Group 4 Pool A encounter in Cameroon. Current CBN champion Nonso Madueke had given Nigeria the lead after an emphatic 6-3-6-2 win against Arangatoto in the opening singles. Guy Eradukunda's 6-2-6-2 victory over Wesley Binovia leveled the score for Burundi. The duo of Guy Eradukundu and Arangatoto went ahead to see the victory for Burundi after a hard-fought 6-1, 4-6, 6-4 win against the pair of Wesley Binovia and Abayomi Phillips. Team Nigeria had on Wednesday secured a 3-0 victory over Mauritius in their opening match. And the National Defense College has reaffirmed its commitment to continuously use sports as means of non-kinetic operations in conflict resolution, underlying its importance to mental and physical fitness of officers and men. This was evident as part of activities commemorating the 30th anniversary of the institution of Aguiyi-Ironsi Cantonment, Abuja, where members of the armed forces competed in 7 sports, including football.
Exercise our men and to also remind them on the need to, at their private time, they should also inculcate the habits of exercising.
Any military man that does not have a physical fitness does not make him a military man. So that's why we use these sports to celebrate our 30 years of existence.
A one-day golf tournament is scheduled to tee off Saturday at the IBB International Golf and Country Club, Abuja. With sports update, Chukunonso Mwabweze, NTA News.
And Doris is on standby in Port Harcourt with more reports.
Thank you and welcome to Port Harcourt. Concerned residents of Port Harcourt say the current challenges in the country calls for solution-driven leadership and thus requires those jostling for position in the 2023 elections to show their solution template. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
From education, security, economy to power and health, the challenges are enormous. Many families can barely afford decent square meal in the midst of rising inflation. Some respondents say there is a relation between the leadership and performance in government.
The country is a mess today because of citizens who take selling of votes as their hobby. If there is no drastic decision, there can't be change. Change comes with sacrifice. Change comes with decision.
2023 general elections, to others, should not be approached like previous elections in Nigeria. At the moment, they noted that the nation needs those who can provide solutions to the problems.
They shouldn't look at the financial aspect of it, because the moment they are looking at the enticement that the people will come up with, automatically they are selling their rights and their vote to the wrong person. They should look at credibility, transparency, somebody who is able to take up the challenges of the nation.
Going by how Nigeria is now, you don't need to bring in anybody. Anybody. You don't need to vote anybody that because he's your partner in business. You don't need to vote anybody because he is your brother. You don't need to vote anybody because both of you belong to the same party. Who is this person when he was here? How did he perform? How accessible, how trusted could he be with the public funds?
The electioneering period, they insist, should be a period where those seeking elective positions should tell the populace sectorially what they intend to do to address the various challenges. And upon that basis, the electorate should choose the right leaders. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Thanks for rejoining us. The General Assembly of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has elected Dr. Daniel Oko as the new president. Dr. Oko was unanimously elected at the 12th CAN General Assemblies to take over from Dr. Samson Ayokunle, who ran the affairs of the association since 2016. Dr. Daniel Oko will now head the office of CAN for the next single term of 5 years, following a change in the CAN constitution whereby the tenure of the president ran for 3 years and could be re-elected for a second term. In his acceptance speech, the new CAN president pledged to work for unity of purpose for the growth of Christians and the progress of Nigeria.
All challenges, in the face of all provocations, we must maintain our dignity and continue to dialogue with all sections of the society. And I also want to say that my administration, like I said in the address, the acceptance speech, will continue to dialogue and engage with the Islamic people of the Islamic religion. They are our brothers, they are our sisters. We all live in this country. And
now the position of CAN president will rotate within the 5 blocks, one after the other.
And we have already stated how it will rotate.
Dr. Oko is from the organization of the Institute of African Churches, Block of Can, and had served as vice president of the association twice under John Cardinal Onaikan and Ayo Orisha Jafo as presidents. Dr. Joseph Panyang Baba was also elected as the new vice president of the association. Meanwhile, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has applauded the outgoing president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Olasupo Ayokunle, for championing peaceful coexistence in the country while in office. The SGF gave the commendation when a delegation from CAN paid him a visit in Abuja. Mitairi Ikben completes the report.
Have you given the change of leadership in the Christian Association of Nigeria comes with a lot of expectations for the sustenance of interreligious harmony in the country. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, commended Reverend Ayo Kunle for his passionate disposition to peace while he served as president of CAN and co-chair of the Nigeria Interreligious Council, NIREC.
The mere fact that the people of Nigeria are watching the two main religious bodies with their leadership sitting at a round table and talking does a lot to the psyche of our people. I want to thank you, sir, for this and so many other things that you have done.
The CAN delegation expressed appreciation to the SGF for his consistent support for the umbrella body of Christians in Nigeria and for facilitating the reactivation of NIREC quarterly meetings, which they say have helped in dousing religious tension.
It is better for NIREC to be meeting so that we avoid religious war or tension in Nigeria.
We also would like to strengthen the various structures of Christian Association of Nigeria in such a way that we'll be able to engage more effectively with government and other organizations that we have to work with.
The president-elect of CAN pledged to continue on the good foundation laid by his predecessor in ensuring unity and peaceful coexistence in the country. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
To health matters now, more Nigerians have continued to express their knowledge about hepatitis with a appeal that the vaccination program for it be made accessible and free. Aisha Uba Ali reports on the current situation in Nigeria with regards to hepatitis.
Submission of an Abuja-based medical practitioner, Dr. Frank Odafe, hepatitis is not curable. Therefore, health experts have continued to preach more on prevention. Some FCT residents are not throwing caution to the wind as they seem to know how hepatitis is transmitted.
When you use a clipper to barb someone else who might have that hepatitis, then and gets a wound, no matter they will come and don't flash a lighter, their body is not.
I run some tests. You know, me, my wife, and my children, the entire family.
Dr. Frank Odafe says it is better to promote and practice healthy lifestyle as well as ensure that people who come down with hepatitis treated properly.
The pattern is insidious, very slow, and over time, the person yields because he's dead. What people have, and because of the virus, say hepatitis B, the virus, it behaves like a cancer-causing organism.
While many believe fatty liver is mere fat around the liver, Dr. Odafe says there is more to it and should be taken seriously to avoid liver degeneration. Hepatitis ranges from A, B, C, D, and E, but the B and C are more prevalent among the black race, as regular blood screening can help in early detection. In Abuja, Aisha Uba Ali, NTA News.
As part of its corporate social responsibility and activities to mark its 30 years anniversary, the National Defense College has taken medical aid to one of its host communities. The report.
Hepatitis is an inflammation of the liver which causes a range of health problems, one of which is cancer of the liver. Medical science identifies 5 main strains of hepatitis virus. Hepatitis B and C are common causes of 1.3 million deaths every year.
B somewhat stays permanent, and then C, once you're infected with C, is a risk factor for you to develop hepatocellular cancer, that's tumor of the liver, cancer of the liver in the future, in the long run.
And it's caused by a variety of different conditions, like infections like viruses, like alcohol, like drugs, or it could even run in families and some genetic conditions.
Signs and symptoms of acute hepatitis include fatigue, flu-like symptoms, dark urine, pale stool, yellow skin and eyes, as well as unexplained weight loss. To prevent this life-threatening health problem, experts advise against smoking, alcoholism, sharing of sharp objects, multiple sex partners, and other unhealthy practices.
Hepatitis B can be gotten from transmitted through blood, saliva, body secretions also. Vaccination is very essential to prevent hepatitis infection.
The World Health Organization launched a campaign to mark 2022 World Hepatitis Day with the theme, bringing hepatitis care closer to you, wherever they are and whenever they are in need of hepatitis services. In Uyo, Ifoma Aihoje, NTA News.
Thank you, Ifoma. Ifoma was actually giving us a situation report on the state of hepatitis in Nigeria. Moving on now, the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, has introduced Waterways Transportation Code to regulate inland navigation. NIWA Managing Director George Mogalu said this is part of measures to check the recurring boat mishaps across the country. Oinaya Kaluoka has that.
In less than a month, 2 tragic boat mishaps occurred in Lagos and Niger States, killing not less than 20 passengers. These recurring incidents, according to NIWA, are due to careless driving, night journeying, lack of use of life jackets, despite consistent sensitization and monitoring by the authority. Briefing the press, the managing director, NIWA, George Mogalu, said measures have been put in place at addressing the mishaps.
The most important of these measures is the introduction of Inland Waterways Transport Code. The code tends to regulate inland navigation generally, but particularly passenger services, loading and unloading operations, safety of navigation.
He said NIWA has established 9 search and rescue stations in Lagos, Lokoja, Port Harcourt, Yauri, and New Busa, and additional 3 for other locations.
NIWA has also commenced the training and certification of boat drivers nationwide, with a view to ensuring professionalism, regular safety awareness, and sensitization campaigns across the country. This is in addition to regular security and compliance patrols on the waterways by the team of NIWA, police, and mariners.
The MD stated that surveillance gadgets, life jackets have been provided to enhance safety and security along the waterways.
Sending life jackets to these our area offices. But what pains us is that you will still see people go and board vessels from unauthorized jetties, at times from riverbanks, without wearing life jacket.
Oyinaya Kaluoka, NTA News.
Oyinaya's report concludes Nationwide today. We thank you for being part of it. But do remember, you can be a star if you stand in the fight against rape and rapists with us at the NTA. Thanks for watching. I'm Hauwa Salihu Adama.